Hi, I'm Ashley and this is my channel, Dare to Dream Creations, and I am doing my very first post ever. I'm going to do my weekly for June 30th through July 6th, and yeah, at this point I don't have a whole lot going on because I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I do try to plan things for my kids throughout the summer. And next week we happen to have a little bit going on, especially with the 4th of July. So we will be using some things from the Coffee Monsters Co. I also have some stuff from Hobby Lobby that I will be using as my 4th of July decorations. So these are going to be fun and sparkly. Hopefully you guys can see everything and hear it. I'm sorry if I move out of frame. I do not have anything professional in this sense at all. So I will show you how I do my layout for the week and we will go from there. I may speed it up at some point because I don't know how long this actually takes me. I've never timed it, so here we go. So I'm gonna flip back and forth between my monthly calendar and what we're doing this week. So you can see we have a lot going on with it. So this is my Sterling Ink A5 horizontal planner, full year. This is the academic one. So this starts in June 30th and runs until June of next year. So I'm really excited to see how this works for me. I've been working a lot with the horizontal layout, and I've really been enjoying it. So I use the right-hand page kind of as a catch-all if I want to brain dump. I also do a weekly overview and I do my habits over here too. Sometimes I do lists as well. It just depends. But yeah, so we'll get started. And I'll try to tell you what pens and everything I'm using as we go. All right, so this is a ruler from Erin Condren. It's also a bookmark. I don't use it as that. It bends these pages way too easily, so we are just going to use it. I like to mark at the halfway point for a to-do list. And if it's off center, I apologize because I can't see. This pen is my Jinhao 10 in the gold body. It has an extra fine nib, and I'm using Pilot Iroshizuku Takesumi. It's one of my favorites. I really enjoy it. It works pretty darn well in this paper, especially with everything going on with the Tomoe River paper. So there's my line. I'm going to continue making lines. I do make them over here. Let me just double check where I make them. I made some in the back. So we're 4 boxes below. That looks about right. Yep. Okay. This is where I make my weekly overview or for the end of week. So I saw someone else do this and I thought it was a really great idea. So I just kind of picked that up and I'm using it in my journal, well, planner. I'm still not sure if I'm going to use all of the daily pages as daily pages or if I am going to just continue journaling. I've already gone through 2 journals this year, so I just want to make sure that I have enough space for that. So I'm just going to kind of get my lines in and then we will go through. Oops, that was my finger. It will. All right, and then I'm going to make my habit boxes. So this is habits. Wow, my handwriting couldn't be much worse. I'm sorry if you hear my dogs moving around in the background. And then I also track some medications and supplements that I take too. as long as we're still in frame, I'm going to use this, and we are going to use the Tombow 603 because I love purple and I want to. Although, yeah, because I don't have a blue or anything, so I can't even go blue, red, white, and blue. I have a pink. We can use the pink. Just kidding. Okay, we'll use the 743 instead. And I'm just going to use it to highlight the upper. I always thought I would film on YouTube, never thought I would actually do it for my planner. So we'll let that dry and set. We will fill in my habits. So I like to track if I've journaled, if I've crocheted that day. So I am working on a couple projects, mainly for my daughter. I'm tracking no spend. I'm tracking, that didn't go all the way down, face cream. So I'm trying to put my face cream on, and then if I've logged quarterlies or temperatures. Because in the front, I'll show you in a minute what we're logging. And then here is my meds and supplements. And I am taking Zyrtec, magnesium, a multivitamin, and I have a vitamin D that I take once weekly. All right, I think this should be dry enough that we can come up here and we're gonna write how was the week. Over here, we're gonna write what did I do for me. Right now, there's not a lot going on, so I'm sorry if you can hear my kids' TV show in the background. We just got back from the splash pad and we were there for 4 hours, so they're a little tired. This is going to be the high moment and a low moment. Oops. All right. Now we're going to start filling in the weekly. So the right hand side I use for to-dos. I am going to write in with my Fudenosuke. If I can find it, there it is. There's the Fudenosuke brush pen soft tip. Yay! And I am going to just write to-dos. I'm still practicing hand lettering, so no judgment, please. There we go. And then this week we have some fun stuff going on. So I'm going to use my Esterbrook SD in the Coffee Monsters Co. Model, well, collab. I hope the lighting is okay. I just realized that. I have it in the fine nib currently with a normal Esterbrook nib. The extra fine is what I actually have with the Emodi, and I love it, but I was trying a different ink. I've got Diamine Cocoa Shimmers in here. So we're gonna agitate some glitter. On Monday, we are going to meet up with one of our friends. And we're gonna go to a park with her and her kids. So most of my to-dos that day probably won't happen. It's just how it goes. Tuesday the 1st, nothing is crazy going on. Oh, yes, it is. Oh, man. Okay, let's get... The kids have their yearly physicals. So, do I want to use one of those? Nah, we won't use those. So, they have a doctor's appointment. And it is at 9. Yep. So we're at 9 a.m. That day I know that there's something that I want to do. Oh no, it's smudged. I do want, yeah, we'll use it. I want to get my rings cleaned because we will be out by where I got mine done, where I got my wedding ring and everything. I also need them to look at my birthstone ring that my husband gave me. Something is wrong with the amethyst. So, okay. So they're getting that. Wednesday, they're going to spend the night at my parents'. And then when we pick the kids up, we are actually going to drop my oldest dog off with them because he is going to stay with them over 4th of July. So I will need to get Batman's things together. So he'll need his food, his meds, his bed. Oh, that reminds me too, up here we need to do their CC and Batman, heartworm prevention, and flea and tick prevention. Okay. So we'll pick up kids. And then on Friday, we are going to go to the boat. My in-laws have a sailboat, and then we are going to also potentially camp. More than likely, it's just going to be the kids with them. And we are going to bring our younger dog. So I will need to pack for Cece. So she will need food, her water bowl. It's not a different one, it's just a travel one, so I want to make sure I have that. We're going to need leashes because she's a runner, and a harness. She's a goofball. She's a really great dog. And then they're going to watch the fireworks, but we will probably leave before that. Cece is petrified of fireworks. So we got her last year. We just adopted her, and she's a really great dog. She's just absolutely petrified. And then Saturday, we are going to have to pick up our kids. Whether or not they will be back down here, I'm not sure. But that's okay. So far, this is all it's looking for this week. I know that Wednesday is our garbage day. So Tuesday I want to remember to put garbage down. And then I think that's it. So this is typically what I'll do. If I do decide to put my grocery list, I will put it over here. And I'll kind of fill it out. Of course the AC turns on. I'll kind of fill it out as it goes. So now we just need decorations. And we'll put my little emoji here. We'll hold my pen. Let me get my tweezers. Okay. So we know that this is the 4th of July. So I'm just gonna kind of lay that there. Oh, the popsicle's cute. Okay. What else would we like? There are so many on here and I love them. There's a lot on here. So let's do, oops. We're just gonna kind of put these around where there's open space. We will need these on Monday, because where we're going also is a wading pool for the kids. My daughter is Alex and she is 7. My son is Aaron and he is 5. So we tend to do a lot of fun stuff with our friends if we can. Put that one there. Making sure we're still in frame. We can put this one in between the habits and supplements. That would be cute, right? Yeah, I like that. You can put just so much here. Oh, that's attached to that. I'll put this there. My husband and I don't get a whole lot of time to just ourselves, so we're kind of excited for Wednesday night because he might have Thursday off. And if he gets Thursday off, that means we have 2 nights that we won't have kids, but 1 night that we'll actually probably do something. Oh, I want the watermelon so bad. There we go. I think we'll just do another firework and maybe the strawberry. I'm not really sure what else I would want on here. This is gonna be kind of crazy already. All right, I think we're all set for the week. So this is going to be my setup for this week. I'll add things and have that in there. So if I add anything different, maybe I'll post it and show everyone. I think it went pretty smoothly for my first video. So if you agree, let me know. Otherwise, I will just show you what I did in the front. So that's my monthlies. So up here I do have things separated. I have some swatches of my Tombos that I do have and my highlighters. I am trying to put inks in here so that I can see how they're going to behave before I actually use them. And most of them are just ghosting, which I expect with this paper anyway. The yearly index I am going to use as a temperature tracker. So I have multiple colors that I'm using for each range. I did a similar setup in my original one that I started the year with, but decided that I didn't like how little range I had. So it's going to be similar to this, but just more color ranges. So then maybe I don't have to quite go through and write all the numbers. And then in my quarterly, I've got my habits here that I track. The Zyrtec Magnesium Multivitamin, Vitamin D. I also track moon phases. I also do my mood, menstrual, and any symptoms that I'm having or experiencing, either alongside my period or just as it's separate. And then I have birthdays and anniversaries on these pages, on this side, on the left. And then I have my key. So if you want to see it, you let me know. I decided I didn't like drawing the key anymore, so I drew it on here so I can flip it every one. So in the first quarter of next year, I'll do the same. I just haven't finished these pages yet. So this is what it's looking like for me though. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. Otherwise, thank you, and I will try to do these once a week. Thank you. Bye.